wanted to talk to you about a little hot topic going around the Hearthstone pond today, because Iksar tweeted in response to someone talking about, I'm just going to quote what Iksar was responding to. So it was a tweet from @LeBruce, who said, Ben Bro did a game design talk where he discussed time to fun. Hearthstone typically requires a lot of faffing or about, which I'm unfamiliar with that term.
I feel like but I feel like it must be like British. Like that sounds like something a British person would say.
Now I know it's not Canadian, because you are also
no, it's not Canadian.
Yeah. Anyway, faffing about to create decks and choose models, etc. What do you see as being the best ways moving forward to trim down the time to fun? To which Iksar replied, and I'm also going to just directly quote him here in case you haven't seen it. Battlegrounds is a good example of that. Just press a button and get in there. Ideally, more experiences are like that. One of my biggest learnings on Hearthstone is that I don't actually think deck building should be a core part of the experience. And Jocelyn, I bet the internet loved this. I bet the internet was
100%.
all about.
Everyone was like, yes, Iksar, more tweets. Please give us all your takes. We love them. We love you. We love Blizzard. We love Hearthstone. Let's go.
We love
Just
this
kidding.
Yeah. Some, pardon the chicken pun, but some feathers were ruffled by this tweet.
It's ridiculous hat here. Sorry.
Oh, the pun?
With your pun, yeah. That was a hat pun.
Nice. Whatever the case is. Some folks are pretty miffed about this. And I just wanted to get you. We haven't had this discussion in a really, really, really long time. In the early days of Hearthstone, which is simultaneously the early days of the show, because we've been doing it since beta, there was a lot of talk. There was a lot of people tossing their opinions around, saying like, if you're a net decker, you're not a real Hearthstone player. And by say back in the day, I mean, this hasn't gone away and it still exists. And I should probably leave Hearthstone Facebook groups, because this is the only thing Hearthstone Facebook groups want to talk about, is net decking is the devil and you're not a real card player if you do it. To which every time I see it, I just go, and then move on.
Yeah, and so I feel like this particular tweet really illustrates one of the things that we saw from BlizzCon Online when Ben Lee was talking about Hearthstone as a platform. That Hearthstone, when you say Hearthstone, you're no longer talking about like standard competitive esports Hearthstone. That is the standard game mode. There are a lot more game modes within the platform of Hearthstone than just the standard experience. And some of those involve deck building, like standard and wild and soon to come classic. And some of them don't, like battlegrounds, obviously, some tavern brawls. Then, we've got the new mode coming out. Some of them still do. I mean, Arena's still technically you're building a deck from a limited card pool. There's many games to play within Hearthstone that aren't necessarily building decks, and I think that's okay, because if every single game that you played on a platform was exactly the same, that would kind of suck, right? So I think the variety is a good thing, and I think what Iksar is trying to say here is that viewing Hearthstone as a platform, more game modes where you just push a button and go have fun is a good thing for the platform to have.
Yeah, my brain also just goes to, which is why I brought up the anti-net decking thing. I've just always found it so silly, because even in the early days, it was very easy to share decks, and now it's even easier because there's deck codes, as if that's some new thing. I've been doing this so long that deck codes still seem new to me. But
back in my day, we didn't have deck codes.
Gather around and let me tell you about the time before additional deck slots. And before, when we would watch other people's games, cards up top or upside down. Oh, wait, they still are. Okay. Yeah. But
yeah, to me, sharing decks is always a thing that's been around in Hearthstone. Like you said, now it's easier. And I think that those people who are taking the game seriously to the point of competing in the esport, then I think absolutely deck building is part of it. You're trying to get out ahead of all of your competitors, and deck building is always going to be a part of that. And do I expect every single person playing on ladder to be building their own decks and coming up with new stuff? No, there's too many players and not enough cards in the game for everyone to play a unique deck. I'm sorry. So I don't know. Getting mad at this Iksar tweet, I think, is a little bit ridiculous.
Yeah. And Slison's getting into kind of the point I was bringing up. Slison's in the chat room saying it's more game modes, but also a point for the constructed game mode. Constructing can be fun for a ton of people without deck building, which is the point I'm trying to make, is that there's nothing wrong with it, that there's nothing diminishing about your integrity or your purity of experience as a Hearthstone player if you're net decking. To me, there's no wrong way to play.
Yeah,
like you play Hearthstone the way you want to play it. And that's, why when we inevitably get the next person to email in or tweet us or ask the question, hey, I have X amount of dust, X amount of dollars, how should I spend my money? I always start with, well, if your goal is to win, because your personal goal in this game dictates a lot of that answer. Mm-hmm. Maybe you really like thematic decks. You don't care if it's a consistent deck or it wins a lot, whatever the case is. You just really want to summon Cthulhu.
Well, yeah, I think I lost every single game in my first 3 days of the Dark Moon Fair expansion because I'm not a huge rogue player, but I really wanted, because I got 2 of the dudes to put the tickets in your deck, and I got golden versions, and I wanted to make my golden ticket rogue really work, and I was very excited about it. It was a horrible deck. I never won, but I was having fun, right? And that was my deck building experience. And then I was like, hey, you know what? I'm a terrible deck builder, and these crazy themes are not getting me anywhere on ladder. So I'm gonna go look up what the new hotness is, and I'm gonna go play that, and I'm gonna go learn it. And because that's the other thing too. You might not be the original builder, but you still have to learn how to pilot it. And there's something in there to be said for the skill it requires to pilot a deck. Deck building is a skill in and of itself, but I don't think it's integral to the Hearthstone experience. I think you can absolutely, for the vast majority of us, we're not competing to be the next world champion. So go find a deck and play what you like. Go have fun.
Yeah, and even then, if I was to start getting competitive in Hearthstone, I would also probably still net deck to a certain degree. To get my feet wet, I would personally be more interested in finding out, how many decks do I need to bring, and then I'm going to figure out what that lineup is, and I'm going to pull from known quantities and proven archetypes. I'm not going to
You're not going to reinvent the wheel.
Well, I can, but I'm going to lose horribly if I do. So again, it just comes down to personal goals. So
there's also no bonus points for building your own decks. It's not like you can Jocelyn, go into Hearthstone.
You're forgetting about internet points, Jocelyn. How are you going to get all the internet points if you don't get to wax on and on and on about how you built your own deck?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand why people are mad.
I do. I don't agree with it, I guess is my point. But,
well, I guess what I would agree with is people being mad if for some reason Iksar said, yeah, you know what? Going into constructed Hearthstone takes too much effort. We're taking away your ability to make custom decks, and we're just going to make everybody play with pre-made decks. Take the deck building right out of standard.
That's a little extreme.
No, it is. And that's when I can understand people getting mad, is if you took the deck building out of standard. But you're not. They're not taking the deck building out of standard. They're saying we can make more experiences on the Hearthstone platform that are quicker to the game, as opposed to having a deck building step in the middle. Deck building's fun for some, but not fun for all. So we're going to make experiences that fit the people that don't like to deck build. I don't know. This just, to me, people that are pissed off about this just stink of gatekeeping, and I hate that. Really, because they're saying if you're not building decks, then you're not playing Hearthstone, and I think that's bull shenanigans.
Bull shenanigans. Okay.
Bull shenanigans.
We have said shit on the show many times, but okay. Okay. I mean, yeah, I'm right there with you, but because I was poking fun at that at the very beginning of this. So where I do come around, if you want to talk about how much the game itself and its modes inspire or really kind of play up deck building, that's where I'm ready to have a conversation. And I bet, Joce, where I would be taking this.
Well, you better just take it there.
Okay. I would like more limited modes in Hearthstone. Arena is not, in my opinion, not that great. It has its fans. I've never really been a big one myself, and I cannot believe we're as deep into this game as we are without a proper draft mode or a proper sealed mode or just meaningful changes to Arena beyond just what cards are in there and their offer rates. That's always been strange to me, because to me, yeah, like I think Arena and now Duels really like promote deck building in a much stronger way than any other mode in Hearthstone, but I think they're also two of the more overlooked modes within Hearthstone. Either by the player base or by Blizzard themselves. Although Duels is being updated rather regularly. I just really...
It's had some balance changes and stuff. And I mean, Duels is still in beta, much like Battlegrounds. So, I mean, yeah, it's getting quite frequent changes. It'll be interesting to see how much support it gets kind of moving forward. We know we're going to get those rotating card pools. I just don't know how many changes we're going to see once they feel like it's in a good place. But maybe we will get balance with every new set of like pool of cards. I don't know, but
yeah, maybe. We'll see. My point is like, and maybe this is just by virtue of we don't really cover Duels, and so we probably get the community surrounding us that kind of meshes with that. But I really don't know anyone who regularly plays the mode. So to me, and like my personal, like where I kind of categorize that mode, it's right there with Arena. With I know there's people who play this. I don't know many of them though, personally.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just where it ends for me. It's So if you basically, my point is, if you want to come to me and say Hearthstone should have modes that really promote deck building more, that are a little more, that are more popular and more regularly updated, yeah, I'm with you there. Because I think
well, yeah, and see that would be another experience that could go on the Hearthstone platform that would kind of like swing further over to the side of deck building, that would have more emphasis on deck building, that you couldn't just bring any sort of pre-made deck into, right? So we're talking about like basically like Hearthstone in all of its modes, like Hearthstone as a platform on this kind of sliding scale from like lots of deck building to not very much to no deck building on one side. And you can have ways to play the game that exist on this kind of continuum, and none of them are any less Hearthstone than any of the other modes. Like just because one of them we call our esport doesn't mean that all the other ways to play Hearthstone are invalid.
Correct. I want to make a dig at esports here, but I'm just going to leave it alone. Hearthstone's done enough damage. But yeah, that's okay, cool. I was just kind of curious what your thought was, and it's been a long time since we had a discussion about deck building, not deck building, all of that kind of stuff. So we are consistent human beings, it turns out, Joce.
Imagine that.
Go figure. We've got a giveaway. We've got Forged in the Barrens bundles to give away courtesy of Blizzard. And if you were already following us on Twitter at TAC Podcast, which I know you're doing, clearly everyone who can hear me is following at TAC Podcast on Twitter, you would have already known about this giveaway. You could have already been entered. And in fact, you may technically already be meeting the requirements for entry, because it's basically following us on Twitter on all of our accounts and following us on Twitch on all of our accounts, with a couple bonuses in there. But Joce, you set up a lovely Gleam giveaway, which we've done in the past. There are currently 8 ways to enter. And I gotta say, not as many entries as is typical for bundles. Almost like this is our first time mentioning it on the proper show itself.
Yeah, exactly. So it does close on Friday, but we will be drawing names on Friday as well, so that we'll let you guys know before the pre-order finishes. But yeah, Forged in the Barrens bundle giveaway. So thank you very much to Blizzard for providing us those codes, and good luck to everybody who's going to enter. Yeah.
Best of luck, everyone. We'll see. I wish I could win. That would be lovely.
Yeah.
Celestalon in the chat room wants to know if they can win. No, I'm fairly certain that's very much against terms of employment. But I don't know. Maybe you can't. Maybe I don't know. Go for it. I'm going to laugh my butts off if somebody enters under the name Celestalon. It's not actually Celestalon. But so you still have to announce that Celestalon won. That'd be great.
You can subscribe to The Angry Chicken on all your favorite podcast apps like Spotify, Google Play, and iTunes. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss another Angry Chicken video.